right, guys, welcome back to the Hero Nation Show, the place where entrepreneurs and business owners just like you come to learn tools and tactics to live more epic lives. I'm your host, John Rinehart, and beside me is Nash Buehler. Dude, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so I actually got you a gift. So if y'all don't know, Nash actually just he came back from doing a little Kilimanjaro trip, decided to go there. So I got you something.
Did you?
For this podcast. Oh yeah, something I figured we would just remind you of. So we're gonna snack on these.
I like it.
So if y'all can't tell, these are Larvette's original worm snacks. But they're cheddar cheese flavors, so
okay.
I figure it can't be too bad.
It's probably better than a lot of the food that I had on the mountains.
All right, cool.
There we go.
Oh yeah, so this is gonna be great.
Let's do it.
This is a great conversation starter. Shared experience. I kind of figured let's just start off with something. I mean,
I'm down.
So tell me about this whole thing. Why'd you want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro?
So Kilimanjaro, it was.
We're just gonna let it out on the table.
I'm about it.
We're just gonna. Oh, yep, right there. Oh.
I like it.
Let's see. Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, we got. Oh, look at all those worms.
We're eating these.
Oh yeah. How's that?
Doesn't really taste like much.
Don't really taste like much.
No.
Let's see what we got. Oh, that's a nice one.
How this come around? So I've got a bucket list goal to visit all 7 continents. I love to travel. Kind of, one of those things I love to do. Who doesn't love to travel? I say it all the time. Oh, I love to travel. It's like, yeah, you and everybody else on the face of the planet. So I want to visit 7 continents. I've gotten 3 so far.
Char.
North America.
Da-da-da.
Ba-dum-bum. Europe, and I've been to Africa twice. This was my second time. So I've always kind of wanted to climb a mountain and climb like a real mountain, not one here in Colorado that's 14,000 feet or whatever. We're like, oh, it's a mountain. It's a real mountain. And I'm not crazy enough to do all of the big 7 because that's
crazy. Yeah.
I don't want to die. Everest, the whole 29,000 feet. No, I'm good. I don't. That's not about it. So Kilimanjaro is probably the easiest of the big 7. Easiest being a very relative term. Right. So I figured, 2 birds, 1 stone, see Africa again, and climb one of the 7. So, and then my dad.
How did that work out, by the way? How did that turn out?
I won't be doing it again.
You won't be doing it again.
Let's just say that.
Was it just the climb? Was it the altitude? Was it the porters? What was?
It was a multitude of things. So I found out I don't do well with altitude. Nice. I've been skiing and stuff here in the United States. Quite a bit. So I've been up to 13,000, 14,000 feet before. Didn't really bother me too much. But Kilimanjaro is 19,400 feet at summit. And you spend so our climb was 8 days, so 6 days up, 2 days down. And you spend half of that, 4 to 5 of those days above 14,000 feet all the time. And I found out I don't do well in altitude. So I got altitude sickness real bad. I was puking 2-3 times a day, couldn't hold food down. So I did most of that climb without eating. So not having fuel in the system is brutal. Yeah. So I mean, your average day was anywhere from 3 miles on the low end up to 7 to 8 miles. Summit day was a 7 up, 7 down, another 5, like 20 kilometers. Nice. Over the course of the day with a 4,000 feet of elevation change. Up, back down, and then down another 2,000 feet, down 2,000 feet. Yeah. So it was a lot. Strenuous. So yeah, just not, I mean, I think I ended up losing 12 to 15 pounds over the 8 days. Just from not eating and, exertion.
It's amazing how not eating will help do that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I call it the Kilimanjaro diet. I came back very lean. It was a great diet. Yeah, it was tough. It reset the bar for this is my silver lining. This is my positive outlook of the trip. Well, when I was.
This is the part of the story that he wants to tell everybody. Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. You ready?
It sucked really bad. No, reset my bar for miserable situations. Let's put it that way.
So can I take it to the ISA cold calls are no longer set?
Yeah, like there is no bad day when it comes to making cold calls now. It's like, oh, that expired yelled at me. Well, at least I'm not hiking 7 miles in 40-degree rain. That's
all right. So now I got a good question for you.
Yeah,
you ready? So, and it's either answer this question or eat all those worms.
The rest of them, okay.
The entire worm, all that huge set, all at the same time.
Oh, this better be a doozy of a question.
In detail, with the person's name attached.
Okay.
Can you tell me the worst call that you had to make?
Ever? Offhand, I don't know if I could pick one. I mean, they're just. So I've been cold calling now for 7-8 years.
So you were doing like 100 contacts like a day kind of thing, right?
Yeah. So my average day is about 20 to 30 contacts, right. Depending on who I'm calling, what I'm calling, all that. Sometimes I'll ratchet up a little bit, but you kind of have to have a quarterback mentality. You know, somebody yells at you, you have a bad phone call. I've been called every name under the sun. I mean, you name it, I've been called it. I've been yelled at. I've had people call me back to yell at me.
Always love those.
Oh, yeah. I had one guy who called me back to tell me he was going to sue me for do not call list. And by the end of the call, he said, well, you've been so nice and so good about this that if I ever want to sell, I'll call you back.
Remember, it has to have the name. It has to have the name attached to the worst call.
I think it was Kevin.
Oh, no.
I think it was Kevin.
It was Kevin?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you 100% sure? He's not just faking this up. I'm
pretty sure. Last name, I don't know last name. I don't know that one. That's going to be, I'm out on that one.
All right, your turn. Since we're playing question roulette at the moment.
My turn. What's your worst call?
I was working in a call center. Okay. And we were doing inbound stuff. We were doing tech support. And there was this guy that was just being like the worst dick ever.
Oh, yeah?
And I was working floor support. And he was convinced that he wasn't speaking to an American. He was 100% convinced, and he was actually speaking to like this little Southern Belle lady, like East Texas, like as Southern innocent as you can get. I mean, she had that perfect accent.
The twang.
She had the twang. She was as nice, and he had her in tears. I mean, he was like, I remember I Y-jacked with her, and I was like, holy crap! Like, this guy's calling her everything, and she wasn't allowed to get off the phone. But he was like, you give me American.
Yeah, we trained her to have that accent.
Yeah, that was his whole thing. He was so paranoid. And so I remember I got on the phone, and I remember I was like, thank you. I can't say the company's name, but I was like, thank you for calling. My name is John. My operator ID is 267. How can I help you today, sir? And he was like, I knew it. Man. He's like, how'd you get this job? And I was like, I got this job for my baby mama to be. And I went through the entire conversation trying to imitate an Indian accent as much as I could.
And he bought that, but didn't buy it. That's good. That's good.
While I was watching, the girl that had just like got mortified into tears, like just like laughing her face off. What would be your advice to people who are starting off cold calls, like just mindset wise?
So one of the things, I spent some time with 2 different teams on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. So that was actually my buy-in to the team, if you will, was because I work with family. And they never wanted to just allow me hey, you're a buyer's agent, here's your team, you're on the team. So I had to bring something new that we weren't doing ahead of time. So I went and trained with Jeff Quinton and Greg Harrelson. They're 2 guys out on the East Coast, just prospecting machines. That's like what they do. That's their bread and butter. They've been doing it for forever. One of the guys that I shadowed for a bit on Greg's team when I was down there in Myrtle Beach told me, he said, I asked him, I was like, how do you deal with people, yelling at you, cussing at you? Because I heard a couple while I was wide in with him. And he goes, I never let the outcome of a call dictate my feelings.
Nice.
And it was kind of profound because I was like, well, tell me more about that. And he goes, well, you don't know what that person's going through that day. You don't know if you called them, they just found out their dad died, or their car broke down, or the bill, the mortgage is late. You don't know what's going on in their world.
But you're not going to let them dictate your emotional state.
Yeah, and he was like, so don't let, what if you're just the first person they could lash out at?
Right, absolutely.
We all do it. I mean, everybody has that moment where, they don't control their emotions and they get upset with somebody who had no reason to be the brunt of that, that anger or that emotion. So I would just say don't attach your personal worth to outcomes of calls.
Gotcha.
The good and the bad, because
Right.
it's an emotional roller coaster. I mean,
yeah.
you can
There's a whole
ride the
high
highs.
thing going on.
You can ride the highs, and then you walk off the just
Walking off like cowboy style. Yeah, come on.
I am all that is man. Yeah, no, I mean you can have both, and it's, if you ride the emotions too much, it's draining, and you're not going to be you're going to get burnt out. I mean, it's so. I'd say that, and then just do it. It's kind of, I look at the same way as working out.
Yep.
If I worked out only on the days that I felt 100%, I'd almost never work out. Even a bad day, going in at 50% on the phones is better than not getting on the phones.
Yeah.
Even just, I'm not saying don't make a habit of it.
Results,
yes.
Right?
I mean, don't make a habit of it, but if you're just feeling, low on energy, do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups, but just go get on the phone. Start. Just make the first call, because once you get past the first one, it gets infinitely better. It's much easier after you just start doing it. I mean, it's same thing again, like working out. Even if you feel bad, once you get into the gym and you start working out, once you do that first exercise, it's like, okay, well, now I'm here. Let's go. And I think that's very similar with prospecting.
So talk to me about like your schedule as far as like when you come in to actually start doing, calls. Is it first thing in the morning? Or are you like a first thing in the morning, like, like 7 to 11 kind of person, or?
I would never call outside of the legal times to call.
Which is?
8 to 5. 8 to, is it 8 to 8? I think it's 8 to 8 legally. I don't ever call. I'll call sometimes in the afternoons from, like 4 to about 6 or so if I'm going a little bit later. I don't like to call at night. That's just a personal thing. I don't like to interrupt dinner time.
Right.
I don't know how many people still have dinner altogether anymore, but I did growing up, and that was kind of an important time for like us as a family. So I don't want to interrupt that. And so it's kind of a big thing for me. So I call from 8 to 11 in the mornings. It's 8 to 11, do my kind of admin, lead follow-up, all that kind of stuff at 11, 12, lunch, come back in the afternoons, kind of fit in whatever else I need to get done. And then depends on the day, sometimes hop on the phones in the afternoon, in the evening.
So what is your best sales technique for talking to someone on the phone?
Best sales technique. Mirroring and matching was probably the big one that took me a while to understand.
Right.
But the one that helped me the most after mastering was being comfortable with silence. That's a tough one for people. Being okay to not be the next. So, I mean, there are times where I'll ask a question and I'll just sit there. And then just 30 seconds, 45 seconds will go by, and then they'll finally talk. I'm like, ha, got him. I win.
So what do you think is so powerful about silence? Is it just the uncomfortable nature of it?
Mm-hmm. It's a positioning deal. It's taking control of the conversation, and then being able to maintain that control. And usually that comes with, first to talk loses. So, I mean, what do they say? It's supposed to be 40-60 most times on conversations where you're 40% and the other person's 60, especially on prospecting calls, which is tough. I mean, that takes being able to get into conversation with somebody pretty quickly. So I'd say silence, mirror and matching, internalizing scripts.
Right. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Because so many people I've seen, like they take a script and they just try to just read the script word by word, and it just comes off as just so nasty.
Hi, my name is Nash. I am calling you because your home came off of the MLS. When do you plan on hiring the right agent for the job of getting it sold?
Someone shoot me now.
Yeah. Click. That's done. I mean, that conversation's over with. You're not getting past that.
So what ways have you used to get past the initial hang up?
I shortened the initial. So I'm going to do something, then I'm actually going to go back on what I just said. Mm-hmm. Internalizing scripts is super important. So I would say that you need to do that. But what I tell people is read it verbatim, start to finish, until you understand what you're saying and why you're saying it.
Right.
And then once you get to that point, then play with it.
Right.
Too many people get a script and they go, this isn't me.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
This isn't me. I don't like this. And you're like, I get that. Yet most scripts aren't you. They're not meant to be you. They're meant to fit everybody. And there's a reason. There's NLP. There's anchors. There's trigger words. There's the reasons that you say the things you say. And until you realize that, you don't fully understand why the script is doing what it is. But I run some KW agent. I get crucified for this. But I run the Mike Ferry scripts. That's kind of what I was trained with way back in the day, the godfather of prospecting. So I use those. So that was the one I just spit out.
Did you ever play characters or stuff like that just to spice things up?
No, I haven't done accents or anything.
So I remember when so when I started selling to real estate agents, right? Because I was selling videos to real estate agents, right? And that was what my company was doing. I remember trying to sell to real estate agents that were already used to prospecting was probably like one of the hardest things I've ever tried doing. And I actually came up with this like really, I think it was pretty ingenious. I quit being polished.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
But I mean, no, I mean like really unpolished.
Oh really? See if they would call you out on it.
No, so no, I'd do something like this. I would actually call, and so your normal thing would be like, hi, my name is John Rinehart, and I'm the owner of right?
Yeah.
And so I would call, and I would do something more like this. Hi.
You would hit him with an and a stutter.
Hello.
Old move, Cotton.
Yeah. So I was wanting to talk. To Nash.
Oh man, this is Nash.
Hi, hey, Nash. So I was looking at your website.
So you got the pity reaction.
No. I would start in like right here. I'd be like, so I was looking at your website, and I was really interested in like some of the stuff that you're doing. Could I just talk to you for a second about it?
And these guys who prospect for a living are like, oh, this poor sap. Yeah, I'll hear him out. It's genius. I like it. That's the you get the pity. You get the pity conversation. So
I own this company over here. It's like a local like video company, and I was looking at your website, and like I saw like you had like such like amazing pictures and stuff. Like it's just really good. But I was wondering, like, do you guys like ever? I wanted to even just find out from you guys, like, have you guys even like used video before?
That's good. I like that. That's good.
And so I remember I actually wrote out all those stutters and all those ums, and I had my sales.
And that was
ISAs,
your script?
No, I had my ISAs learn those stutters and ums, because it was the one way of getting past the defenses, because anybody that was going fast was automatically hung up on.
Well, they're prospectors. They do it.
Right.
They know what you're doing. They know the game.
Right. And so I'm like, cool.
But they're also way more willing to be like, oh, Like when I hear people now that will like cold call me, I'm listening for them to see, okay, how good are they? I'll throw up a couple objections at them just to see how they handle them. Just because I'm a dick like that. And I'm like, oh, let's see. Okay, can you handle this one? Nope, they bailed. Okay, nope, you're out.
Yeah.
I have one. So I get Aggie, and so I get hit up all the time. Past alum. Hi, Mr. Buehler, da, 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 and they go into their whole spiel. And I had one guy, and he was great. I mean, he overcame. I was like, hey, this isn't a great time. Well, okay, could I set you up for a call in 2 months? But how about $50 now, and then we can call you back later? And I was just like, you're good, man. And I was like, what's your goal for the day? He was like, well, I just really want to get some money. I was like, no. What's your goal for the day? Like, how much money do you want? How much are you trying to get donated? He's like, well, my shift ends in an hour, and I'm $200 away. And I was like, put me down for $200. And he was like, oh, he got all excited. But I was like, but it was one of those that is like, he overcame the objections, and I gave him 4 or 5. I mean, I really kind of put him to the paces. But I'm also, you get to the real people.
But I think that's the real twist is like, can you like really significantly adapt your techniques to be able to deal with with different people in different situations? Like, okay, like most people that are homeowners, they haven't done a whole lot of this.
Yeah.
They don't know it. But if you're selling to people who have,
oh yeah,
selling to a car salesman or a mortgage lender, it's a whole different ball game, because now you're trying to play the player.
Yeah. Well, they're used to it. This is their game. That's what they do.
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap this whole thing up, what is your best tip for internalization of a good script?
So write it down twice.
Nice.
So copy it. So like look
physically
at it.
Write it down.
Yeah, physically write it down.
Not just type it out.
Not just type. No, like physically write it down by hand. Twice. Read through it. Talk through it. Like then actually aloud read it. And you're gonna have a pretty good feel for it at the end of that. But then after that, role play, script practice.
Nice. Find a good role play partner.
Yes, for sure.
Oh man, role play is like huge.
And when you say good, you want to make sure that you have somebody who knows their scripts well,
and knows the objections really well,
but isn't going to be a dick about it.
Oh come on, it's so much fun.
Like there's nothing more frustrating than somebody who really knows their scripts and they're just being obtuse to be obtuse. And you're just like, all right, dude, that's like 6 objections. There's literally no one ever that's going to come up with that. Like they come up with that like one objection they heard
my
one
favorite,
time.
My favorite one is just like, oh yeah, well I don't like you at all, and just hang up the phone.
No,
I'm a real dick about that.
Like they'll give you that one objection they heard one time and they were stumped by, so they throw it at me, and I'm like, really? I mean, I appreciate that. I'm getting better, but you want somebody who's going to give you the win at some point. So I would say role play, script practice.
Nice.
Would be the big ones.
All right, dude. I really appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you, bonding over worms.
Over worms. They were delicious.
But you know what is not worms? So, guys, today, as in always, the Hero Nation show is brought to you by Hero Nation Fuel. If you're not part of Fuel, if you're not part of that group of people that are coming together to actually get ahead week after week, month after month, so that they're able to actually have like really good conversations like this one, so that you can actually leap forward ahead in your business, you really need to be getting on to Hero Nation Fuel. You need to be part of that group. What are you doing? Why aren't you already doing it? I don't even know why you're not here already. You really should just join Hero Nation Fuel. 30 days back guarantee, guys. You should go there and sign up today. TheHeroNation.com. Nash, thank you so much.
Appreciate you
coming in.
Appreciate it.
Cool. Be your own hero.